Hi, welcome to my brand new channel, Fresh Mind Investing. This is the first video I've ever made. I have wanted to do this for so long, so please, if I don't do well, don't laugh at me. It's been so long since I wanted to open a channel and share my opinions and new angle to look at different things. So I've been thinking and thinking, should I do it in English? My English is not very good. Or should I do it in Chinese? And what if I fail and it's a total disaster? What if people disagree with what I say and kind of laugh at me? And what if I have no followers at all and I'm just talking to myself the whole time? So until today, I thought, okay, enough is enough. No more waiting, no more excuse. So why not start on the new year 2021? In this channel, I will cover some investment ideas that I've been dying to share with someone, and with some of the investment opportunities that you have probably never even heard of, but I found massive potential myself. And I will share more of my personal background and how I form my perspective in the videos later on in the future, so I don't make this video so long. So please, it would help me a big time or give me a big encouragement if you can support me, my new channel, by one like and one comment and one subscribe. And anyone who gave me the first 10 likes and be my first 10 subscribers ever, it would be the 10 people that are most important to my channel and even significant to my life. So please leave a comment down below to let me know that you are the first ones that give me a like to my first video, or even the first subscribers. Please, thank you, and I will remember you forever. So please help me grow this channel together. I'm going to talk about Quantumscape, ticker symbol QS. I have been in this stock since October, mid-October. I bought in 3 times at average around 13 to 14, and I'm up a lot. This is the second 10x play I have since I bought NEO at $3. So after I bought in this stock, it has not been doing much since. And because at that time there was the election going on, and then what happened with Nicola and Hylion. So a lot of people were really fearful of specs at that moment, and especially cautious for these kind of specs that would not have real product until a few years later. So this was a red flag for many people. That's why the stock did not do much for the first 1 or 2 months. So some people called it a PowerPoint company. And one of the YouTubers I follow also said he has sold all of his KCAC position before the merger, which is around this time, around $18 to $20. But I thought I would hold on to my position because at that time there were so little people talking about it, and I thought the risk was still very low. The merger, it was really, really exciting to see it went up super fast, that it was even suspended for a few times, like almost once every few minutes. It has such a strong momentum, but I still hasn't sold a single share. I bought almost 700 shares at around 13 to 14 price. So I was, at that time I was up a lot already, but I still hasn't sold anything because I thought to create this kind of momentum without many people knowing about it at that time. So it's got to be a lot of institutions buying it, because I thought this kind of effect is very unlikely to be created by retail investor alone, especially most people didn't know about this. So, and then the next Monday, it pushed up to $52 very fast. And right away, it started to dip with the whole EV sector back then, okay, until it was $28. So I thought if I sell at the time, it would be like just panic selling. So I want to watch it and observe the movement for a while. So I watch it crashing. It's of course hard to take, but I didn't sell anything because I don't want to be driven by my emotion, because there is a big catalyst coming, which is the press release the next coming Tuesday, Monday. It would be on this day. So the in the morning it dipped to $38 to $40, and I started to post comments under the QS stocks on my stock app. I told people that it's the last dip you have before the big run up. So don't wait um, to and regret later. It would be around 50 or 60 when you start regretting. And the next day, it was exactly what I thought it would. So it rise up to $60 and close at 57. And at that time, I really had a strong urge to sell, just like many others. And I saw in the comment section that everybody was starting to take profit because it was just so tempting. Some people had 50% gain. I had 4x my money already in a very short time, so it's quite attractive to start to take profit. And then it hit me. I started to calm down and started to think, if everybody is taking profit, how do institutions make money buying what you sell? And the only way is that they know if you sell now, they can make you buy it back later, except with a higher price. So I still didn't sell a single share until then. And a few minutes before the closing, I just posted another comment to suggest people not to sell yet because otherwise they might end up buying it with a higher price later. Next day, it went up to really $80. It was exactly what I thought. A lot of people posted on the comments and said that they sold too early, way too early. They regretted. They lost like $30 of profits there. Like, should I buy it back? Should I buy it back? So, and I think a lot of people would kind of be impulsive and buy it back at around 70 or 80 even. And so then the next week it dipped again. I saw a lot of people started to sell off in a hurry. So they would think at the time, if you don't sell right now, you're gonna be at loss for at least 5 years. You're gonna wait until they have products because there's no more catalysts coming. So I wrote a little analysis to post on the comments section again. And what I thought at that time, I will tell you later on. So my point was to hope people don't sell in a panic and hold on to it because there might be more coming, and we'll see. Because it was still a new company to people at that moment. The press release did not catch a lot of people's attention because what they have been saying in the press release was really technical and a lot of people cannot understand it. And I was hoping some mainstream media could help push the words, the message outside with a more easier to understand way. In the massive rally, I sold more than half of my shares with almost 10x my money at around 115, 120 to 126, something like that. So right now I still have 300 shares that I own. At this point, of course, the risk is getting much higher than November or early December, but I can be at a very comfortable position, letting only half of my profit to run the rest of the ride. And I can be detached from my emotion and think about it from an objective point of view. I have been in this stock since quite early and have ride the whole ride roller coaster with it, up and down, up and down, up and down, and watch it almost every single trading section. And I realized that this stock can really go above and beyond to shake off the weakened hands, to make people sell if they don't believe in this company. So they would do anything to even break down the resistance level for many, many times since the beginning. So now the big question is really, should you buy the dip? Because you see that the last week has been really awful week for QS. It has dropped from the peak of 132 to the closing price of 84, and in post hour after hour, it continued to drop to 75. So it's really a big drop, and I think a lot of people would have panic sell already. So right now, is QS still a buy, or is this company a scam, or should you stay away from it? Let's discuss this right now. I will need to list out the pros and cons that I have analyzed with my own research and understanding, and it's not going to be anything that you can hear from other YouTubers. Um, it's just completely my own analysis. Okay, I'll start with the pros. And the most important one, kind of, is that the solid state battery can revolutionize not just the EV industry. It can it can revolutionize many other industries. It will cross many industries. It's really beyond our imagination. I'll give you examples such as the airplane, cruise, military, logistic, drone, delivery, and even space traveling. The list can go on and on. It's really beyond our imagination because all of these industries cannot go fully electric now because of the mileage issue. And the solid state battery can really solve this problem. And it's going to change a whole lot of other industries that is really what we cannot see right now. Academic or scholar recognition, it's really, really great because you see a lot of big names behind it. There was really the Nobel Prize winner of inventing the lithium battery in the first place, and also the big names like uh, Bill Gates, J.B. Straubel. And I think if this company is really a scam, there is no way they would risk losing their name over a small startup like this. So I think it's a big loss for these kind of big names to kind of to explain people how great their invention is. It's a lot to lose for them, more than this startup company. Kind of similar to number two, that there were so many big investors behind it, such as everyone knows it's the Volkswagen Group, but also there is the Shanghai Auto Group, which is the biggest auto group in China, that's also investing in it. I think for these kind of big companies, their credibility is sometimes even more important than money itself. So especially like Volkswagen and Shanghai Auto Group, they have a big name out there that they need to maintain. They have a certain brand image. So if this Quantumscape failed to produce a product that's revolutionary, they would end up losing a whole lot more than Quantumscape itself because they lose their brand image, they lose their credibility, and it's a huge deal for them. And they have way too much to lose if this project fails. Number four would be the management team. So I have did a little background deeping, deeper research on the CEO. And I think that he is quite a smart person. And also, this is not the first time he has created a company. He had previously twice to create a company and it went IPO. So I think it's a very good thing that the CEO is not a newbie in terms of management and to figure out the business model and in terms of recruiting all kind of sets of skill that he already has would reduce a lot of the risk of the company. Number five, it's a little bit wild imagination here, but hear me out. So we all know that NEO has a new kind of business model called Battery as a Service, BaaS model. It basically means that when you buy a car, you don't have to buy the battery, and you can use a subscription base that in which you pay maybe 1,000 yuan every month to pay for the battery, and you can swap it as many times as you want at the battery changing station. This if this model get expanded, it might be huge because right now with the Chinese government backing it up and NEO is also working with other countries to do this battery swap station and expanding the BaaS model, it would mean that it's kind of revolutionary for the whole battery industry, really, really much, because it would mean that the battery could be a B2C business model. So it's always been B2B business for many, many years. B2B means business to business. B2C means business to customer. So it means that battery is no longer dealing with car factories. It's battery to consumer, directly selling to consumer, which means that consumer would be able to choose what brand of battery they want to get, buy, or change, subscribe every month. It means that they can change the battery choice according to their own use habit, according to their use of that month or that period of time. For example, if they need to go more of a long distance trip at that period of time, they would choose a better, more expensive or longer mileage battery versus if they just use for locally at that period of time, they just go with the basic one to save cost. So it means that battery can really be a brand on its own to target to customer. And this is going to be huge for all kinds of battery brands out there that's going on. And it has great opportunity for Quantumscape to grow from a B2B business model to a B2C business model. If this happens, then the growth of Quantumscape is really above and beyond. Number six would be also a little bit of my own um, assumption here. maybe, but maybe it's true that there would be some kind of secret investors going on behind Quantumscape that we don't know, because obviously with the investors that we already know, it's really, really hard to create this kind of huge jump, especially for certain days. The volume and the momentum was just really, really strong when everybody is so fearful at that time. So I think there would be some kind of secret investors going on behind that we don't know yet until later on. And my biggest guess right now would have to go to the oil fund, the big oil fund in the Middle East, especially, that they're not stupid. They know that this kind of technology coming and revolutionizing all kinds of industries that need to consume oil heavily. So they know that the future is going this way and they cannot counter it. And that means their oil industry is getting more and more threat. And what do they do? What should they do? I think at this point, the smartest way for them is to really invest in what is going to revolutionize their industry instead of going against it. They should invest in it and help them give them the resource they need, the capital they need to support this kind of battery startup, and the reward they're gonna get from this is gonna be revolutionary. It's gonna be just as much as what they would get if the oil demand is going strong. So with the this kind of investment, it can really hedge their future risk of the oil demand dropping massively. This is what my biggest guess would be right now, that there are some secret investors going on behind the Quantumscape stocks. I think it's not that simple. It's not just FOMO. It's not as simple as we think, because most of us think it's just driven by FOMO, by people hyping it and jumping it crazy. And no, I don't think it's that simple. I really think there are some secret investors going on behind the scene, and I don't know if they would reveal themselves. And I do know that if they end up revealing their investment portfolio next this year in the first quarter of some time, it's gonna be a little a catalyst for the stock to go higher, for us to see there are real investor institutions going behind and betting big on this QuantumScape stock. This is what I think that will might happen in the first quarter or even just in January. Who knows? We'll see. And the good thing of for this is that if there are some secret investors going on behind it, that means there will be a lot of support and help on resource, sales, and connection that QuantumScape is going to get in the future. Because the more people are in on the same boat, the more people are going to help to build this company. So let's talk about the cons. Number one, there will be no product until 2025 or even later. But for this, I think right now the barrier is not the technology that's not working. The barrier is would be mainly the scaling problem. But with the Volkswagen's help, I think it would be more probable. And number two, the problem would be the safety concern of automobile, because it is very important for the Automobile Association to pass the law on this solid state battery. And I think it might take a few years, because it's really safety concerns. And it's right to be cautious for the safety issues. And number two is that investors are really impatient, especially on this stock. I think anything above $90 to $130 would be mostly pushed up by FOMO. And this kind of traders, they just want to come in as a short-term trade, and there's no way that someone would want to buy in at $130 and want to hold it for 5 years and go long with this. I think people might think you're crazy. I think 90% of the case that people bought in to gain some short-term quick profit and take profit and go away. So it's normal. And number three is the warrant redemption, that the pipe holders might be selling off soon. And I don't know when yet exactly, but I need to watch out for this. And number four is that the value of the share right now is already pricing in the earning of 2027. With the current price of $75 per share, it has a pricing for the 2027 with the PE ratio of 23. So it's not overvalue. It's kind of reasonably. price for 2027. So we can see that this share price already gone up so much that it has priced in for a few years later. So if this is true, that then this stock might be flat or going downtrend until 2027. That might be a scary thing. But if what I assume was true, that it's going to revolutionize other industries, then we might be seeing a turning point because for their own projection, it only covers up the EV industry. And we might yet see other industries coming along, like what I just mentioned about the drone, the delivery, the logistic, um, the cruise, the airplane, which is the biggest number, one of the biggest players of the oil consumption from before, and maybe even space travel and military. So if we price in all these other industries, then I don't think it's priced in already in the stock price. Then maybe there is another opportunity coming. And last is the Apple rumors. This kind of scares me a little bit because I don't know where it comes from, out of nowhere, that people just started to draw a connection between Quantumscape and Apple. Um, there is no official news out there to say that Apple's going to use Quantumscape as their battery yet. It's especially Apple did say that they would develop their own technology for their Apple Car. So right now, this connection, it's really by rumors, and I don't know who started these rumors. If it started from the QuantumScape itself or the investors behind it, the institutions behind it, it would be a big red flag for me because it's a really alert that someone wants to sell off and make this kind of rumors to create back holders, and I would be concerned for this. So let's see, because right now for the last week, the sell-off volume was really not that big compared to the buy-in volume weeks ago. So I think right now it doesn't look like the case yet. To the chart, I think right now $60 mark has a solid bottom because anything below $60, I think is more owned by the institutions than retail investors. So I think it has a support there. um, I think the price driven up to $60 was not out of hype, at least below 60, because most people were already very cautious and concerned, driven by Nikola and later on with Hyliion at that time, that people are quite fearful for this kind of new specs that have no actual product yet. So I think at that time, below 60 would be mostly owned by institutions and not retail investors and not by FOMO, as most people think. Because a lot of people that I talk to tend to think that anything after the merging is FOMO, and yet I don't think so. I think anything below 60 is not created by FOMO unless they decided they want to sell off, from the major investors, the institutions. I don't know about this, but anything above 80, 90 to 130, I do think it's driven up by hype, driven up by FOMO. So right now, it's this stock a good to buy. I think the momentum is it's here to keep selling, and the risk is obviously much higher than before, which is here where I kept telling people to buy, and not be afraid. So at this point, we will need to keep looking and see if it does have 60 as a support, because I do think anything between 50 to 70 would be okay to buy and try. Just make sure you don't go heavy in your position because it is very risky at this point. They don't have a product until a few years later. So if you get caught, you might end up, holding this for a few years at loss. So don't go with the big position. And if you really want to try out, try at the 50 to 70 level range. I think it would be more safe. If it gets below 50, I might consider having a small option play on it with a call. And it might sound crazy, but if it does drop below 50 or 60, I might consider it. A lot of people are starting to lose faith in QuantumScape, and all those negative feelings from before started to come back and saying it's a PowerPoint company, it's only a concept, it has no proof, etc. And I just don't want to sell off based on my emotion, based on my panic. And of course, I would be affected too, but I need to calm down and think about it from an objective point of view. A lot of people think this stock is driven up by FOMO mainly. And I kind of disagree because um, if the stock is, if they really want to pump and dump, which I really don't think so, but if anything, if they really want to pick a stock to do pump and dump, this would probably be the worst stock to do it. There are so many better stock choice to do the pump and dump better than the stock, because when you need to pump and dump, you need to create these kind of backholders, right? And what would create backholders? It's when people believe this company is gonna keep growing, it's gonna have a bright future from now on, and it's gonna have massive gain next year or even in a couple months, because most people don't want to hold a stock for 5 years plus. So there are a lot of other choices better to create this pump and dump effect to make many, many backholders, such as ChargePoint, Blink, such as many other good EV players out there that already have existing products up and running and maybe even dominating the market. Why not using those stocks to do pump and dump? Because I do think that when there is a panic sell off, who's going to sell off faster? Institutions or retail investors? Of course, it's the retail investors because they are panicking. Whenever there's a sell off, they panic right away. And investors holding, I mean, institutions holding so many shares, it's very hard for them to sell all at once. So I think this stock out of so many other stocks would be one of the worst one to choose to do the pump and dump. And institutions are not stupid. I don't think they're stupid. So I don't think this is a good choice to do pump and dump for them because they might end up being a bag holder for them. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the institutions behind it are really stupid. Who knows? But I think it's very unlikely that this stock is the chosen one to do pump. We all know it that whenever there is a slight bad news coming out of this company, we would be the first one to run away because we feel always like playing with fire with the stock that we would panic sell anytime before the institutions can finish selling off their that big portfolio chunk of stocks holding. So I do think that um, the stock is still not somewhat to be fearful yet, and I would cautiously go along with it with the rest of my shares. um, I would assume this stock would continue this kind of uptrend, maybe not as fast, maybe it would take some time to cool off, but I think it would continue to uptrend until the majority um, of of us thinking that this is a scam, it's a PowerPoint company, until the majority turn to be less than 50%. So if let's say right now 80% of people think it's a scam, so I think we're still safe until more than 50% of people think this might not be a scam and start to change their opinion on it and think, maybe it's not that bad. If this institution is buying it too, maybe it's not that bad. I'm gonna take a new look on this company. Maybe it's not as bad as what I thought. So until this happens, I think this stock is still somewhat safe. Okay. Be safe investing. Don't put a big position on it. Just play with it with a small position. Just to try and see if it's what you think. Do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor. You have to do your own thinking before you invest in it. Otherwise, when there's a sell-off coming, you are gonna panic sell right away, and you're gonna cut loss. So please be careful with the stock. Right now, it's not as safe as weeks ago. Do think that there is still some small opportunities there with this stock, and I think if most people are already sure about something, then there's is probably very limited chance left. And right now, people are very unsure about this stock, very uncertain. So I think it's somewhat still safe. Thank you very much, guys. If you watch until now, then I should give you a big wow. I admire your patience with my speaking. I think I'm not a very good YouTuber here, as you can see. So thank you very much for staying with me and for even liking my video. I have walked a big step today, doing my first video in my entire life. I did not think I would ever make this first step. So please give me a little encouragement with such a big move of my life today. Thank you very much. I will be posting more videos later. Some of the stocks I'm very, very excited to share with you that nobody is talking about on YouTube. And based on my own experience in the past, I will try to share as much quality research as possible and help you guys. Thank you so much. Make sure you leave a comment down below. Tell me that you are my first subscriber or one of the first uh, subscribers. Please let me know. And if there's any opinion about this company I shared today or the stock, please let me know and correct my mistake. And let me know if you agree or disagree. I would for sure try to reply every single comment down below. Thank you so much.